everybody. One of the best things about spring is getting your table really pretty with flowers and everything. And I asked Sebastien Centner to come in and tell us all about it. Let's hear it from Sebastien Centner.
Thank you.
Look at all these. There's 3 different things he wants us to look at, but they're 3 different price points.
Absolutely. We're going to do 3 different price points, and we're going to really start to bring spring into the air.
I love it. So where are we going to begin here?
We're going to start with the minimalist look, okay? So what we're going to do in each case is we're going to show you the place setting, and then we're going to add the centerpiece.
Tell me that's the most inexpensive look.
This is the most inexpensive look, and as you know, this is the one that I'm big on minimalist. Yeah. So what we do here is basically did everything clear glass, white, silver, keeping it really, really simple.
Okay, but here's the thing. Did you see this, everybody? How did you keep that underneath there? Okay.
And so this is one of my favorite ways to do a napkin fold when you just leave it over the table. What's nice about it is if you're not using a placemat, it sort of adds a little bit depth to it. But it's also just, it looks great when you do a long table.
Love. Okay, that looks great. Okay, next up, so what are we going to put on the table? So what we're going to now do is we're going to add our centerpieces. So what we did here was, first of all, did something very, very simple, is I'm taking just simple wine bottles. You know we have a few of those left over at our house once in a while. Yeah, you do.
Right? Just 1 or 2,
Yeah,
right?
you do.
So these are actually white wine bottles, obviously, so we're going to start with those so the candles don't go out.
Pretty, isn't
so
it?
I like to use stuff that's around the house, things that are inexpensive that you can sort of use in your own way. So wine bottles, put them in boiling water, got the labels off, ran them through the dishwasher, and now what I'm doing is just taking little bud vases or glasses. You can use glasses as well. Yeah, these are actually vases, but you can use glasses, especially if you have them around the house already.
And what is in them?
So we got crocus. We've got 2 others that I don't remember the names of because that's Owen's area, and he's like the floral expert. But they're all spring florals. They're all things that are available right now.
All right.
And then we've got, all right, so I'm going to add a couple more here. And the whole idea is to sort of give this look that you can kind of fill your table, but do it really, really simply. And the other thing you could use, if you happen to have them around, is you can also use mason jars. And you can put little either the buds in there, or you can actually use candles. Okay,
what is the price of this fabulous centerpiece?
So everything that you see here on the centerpiece, we did for less than $50. Really
and it's very springy.
I don't think that doesn't include the price of the wine that we finished to actually get the 3 bottles.
But that was another price for another table.
We're putting that in another budget. That's in another budget.
Okay, so the next one is kind of a, I don't know, glammy?
It's a little bit. It's more sort of
earthy?
like it's an earthy glam. Boho, earthy glam. It's kind of like, you know, very California-chic.
Okay.
That's a good word for it.
That's good, Cali.
So first of all, we're going to roll out this little center runner, and then what I'm doing is, so this is grounding it. You're going to see in a minute why it is that we're using a table runner, but then what I'm doing is I'm adding this sort of upscale look.
This is like a rose gold.
Yeah, so it's rose gold, blush plates, mirrored chargers. The mirrored chargers really bring it up. Without the mirrored chargers, you sort of get everything in the same tone. And then we finish it off with these beautiful little macarons from Denis that are hand-painted.
You know, when you speak French, it gets me crazy.
Yes.
You know that.
That's my French accent.
That's your present.
And she got me blushing. Nobody makes me blush.
Okay.
And now what we're gonna
so you folded that. You put the little.
So we just wanted.
Again,
we wanted. Denis.
Yeah.
Denis Macron. Macron de Denis.
Okay.
So that's the extent of my French day. And then what we're going to do is the reason we did this in the centerpiece or the center liner is because we're going to then layer our flowers. So
these are beautiful.
Okay, so hold on.
Your mother was French, right?
My mother was French, and she was very big about entertaining, but keeping it really simple, and that's sort of where my inspiration came from. So what we're going to do here is, and this works. You never know how you're going to influence your kids. You know what I mean? No. You never know. She's also probably the reason why we drink so much wine and do other things like that. So, you know, she's got the pros and the cons of having a French mother. Actually, those are both pros, I think, aren't they? Those are both pros. And so what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of eucalyptus as well. So the concept here is that this is super simple to do, but because we don't need any vases, one, it keeps the price point down, and secondly, this is really nice to do when you're doing it on a long table. So you fill it all up. Oh, along the table. Yes, so like, for example, a rectangular table. You can also use a square, but for rectangular tables, this works really, really well. And it also, the whole idea is to try and keep the price point at a reasonable level. So without the vases, when we're just doing florals, we're able to sort of do that. Look, do you know what these flowers are? Ranunculus or ranunculus. You know what I always mix them up with is peonies. They look like small peonies, and peonies are my favorite flower. Do you want to put white in there or not really? Sure. Sure. And what you do is just tuck them in? I'm just making up. What do I know about this stuff? Nothing. So no, but what you just want to do is I know what I'm going to try to do. The whole idea on this is you want the stems to be hidden. So you're just going to sort of put the stems in. Now, the only tricky thing about this centerpiece is that
unlike the other ones, you kind of have to do this right before your guests arrive, or maybe 15, 20 minutes, because what will happen is they will wilt a lot quicker. And see what happens when you have this green area in the center, just by pulling everything together.
That's really pretty.
You're going to end up getting it.
Can you see that along a long table? Isn't that nice?
Right?
I like the little macrame things that kind of...
This is nice, isn't it? It was sort of not exactly normal style that I would have, but as soon as you add the mirror to it, it sort of changes.
Very California.
Very California.
Very in. The price point of the centerpiece?
Under $75. I think we came in around $73.
Great. That's great. Okay, last but not least, this eclectic look. This will be a higher price, we know that.
So now we're getting to a little bit higher price point, and this is inspired by what is really hot this season. So for my company, for Entertainment, for our weddings, we're seeing a lot of this kind of antique, very traditional, but kind of upscale look.
Pretty.
And we work with an amazing floral company called Bloom Plus, and we're doing like, you know, 200, 300, 500 person events. Well, this is kind of how to take that look and bring it home with you, so you can have the same style.
How many weddings do you think you do a year?
We do about 900 events a year. We do about 175 weddings. Wow. Yeah, lots of weddings, and every one of them is very special to me, because it's like, unlike corporate events, weddings, everybody wants it to be really personal, and it's their special day. It's got to be special.
Right, right.
Yeah. You've been to a couple of weddings we've done.
Yes, I have. The dancing was fantastic.
Of course.
Look at how beautiful this is.
So now we're really going.
How do you do that? This is so pretty.
So this is where what we're doing is we're really trying to sort of bring the florals to a different level here.
This says spring to me, boy.
This is all about spring. Now we're going way more opulent. We're using the antique gold. We're using other colors of gold. It ties in really well. It gives that opulent, really rich look. Right. And that's where all the pastel colors, like what you're ending up having, except for the tulips, you have a lot of the same florals in both of these, but they have a totally different look.
Yeah. So in this, like, would you ordered this?
So what we did is, as I said, Bloom Plus sort of helps us with a lot of our big arrangements and stuff, but then what we like to do is sort of add little touches to it. So obviously, we kind of like, here I can fill in and add my own little florals. Right. And this is something you just, you know, in my opinion, you just start working at. And what's a neat thing is that if you use lots of greenery, the greenery is really expensive, really inexpensive filler. So it's easy to do. And what are these? Like, what's the wrap around that? Because I'm curious about that. So basically what we've done is we created little bud vases, but we started with a regular glass. Yeah. We just wrapped it with moss, put a little bit of twine around it to hold it in place, and then there you go. Isn't that pretty? That's so great. And one last thing about this, which is neat, is that you can either put them on pedestal vases like this, or pedestal bases, but when you're doing a dining table, this is great for round. The nice thing is if you have the smaller pieces, you can then remove this when people are seated so that everybody can see each other. Still have the flowers there. And you can then readjust a little bit. And then with a few of these little ones, all of a sudden you've got more of a look. Now I want to say something too. When you have these little vases, I'm always curious about where to put them. So there's your wine glass. So talk to me about that really quickly. In terms of, okay, it depends on how many you have. First, usually it's clusters of 3. So you're either going to cluster them together, so sometimes on a long table, you'll do sort of 1, 2, 3. Right. Or if you have something like the first setting that we had, you'll try and sort of have kind of build it right through. I like personally to try and build from the center out. And if it's a round table or a square table, obviously then you sort of want to keep everything clustered right in the center. Right. Okay, good. Good. Okay. What and the price point again? So on this one, we went just over $100. Okay, but it was worth it. It's gorgeous, yes. It's so pretty. Thank you, Sebastien. That's so great. Great lessons. Thank you. Say something in French. Au revoir. Au revoir. No, you say à bientôt. Okay. See what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? We'll be right back, everybody.